Alright, after that alignment, things are sounding a whole lot better. I'm on the police band right now, and I'm picking up an AM bander as opposed to a single sidebander. He's a ham radio operator. I don't know where he's at, probably California, somewhere in that area. It seems to me I heard him mention that. They're kind of weak, but they are there. And this is what AM sounds like. Those guys that transmit on the AM radio. See if I can get them here.
Been listening for a little bit. Haven't really made many notes.
There's a nice clear sound to it, actually, if I could pick up the signal a little better.
Wasn't late getting up, but it's kind of a city thing, I guess. Tried to get out here yesterday morning. I did eventually make it. I was trying to get the wife around. She had a bunch of stuff to do yesterday.
Notice the difference between that and the squeaky, squawky, squealy sound of single sideband. That AM is really nice. I like that.
It's the third day, I think, so expected to be about the time. And more of that going on right now, it looks like.
Of course, you have your standard fade in and fade out of AM. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you hear a little of that. That's the first station I think I've ever picked up on one of these old vintage radios that was AM transmitters. Kind of cool. Anyway, that's what's going on with the police band. And here is the upper range, coming in nice and clear. Let's see if we can pick some up real quick here. I don't want to make this a long. Now there is some of your single sidebanders that I can't pick up clearly. I can make out some of it, but this radio is not equipped for that. But it is an AM radio, and it is equipped to tune in those AM guys I was listening to.
Del natalicio del más universal de los cubanos. But for the ones that care to know.
Alright, that's pretty good. I'm only halfway through the band. Let's go to the broadcast band. See what we got on that.
With Paul. It shows up again in verse 9.
Somebody said, well, God will have to put in the money in the... Anyway, I've got this MG midget. She's still...
Something about your mortgage problems. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD.
But basically, they're the recipients of monopoly privileges.
Okay. We're getting plenty of sensitivity now. There's a little more broadcast band. It's got great sound. And of course, I like this tone setup I now have. I've got 3 positions on the tone now. Where originally I only had 2. I like that sound right there. That's nice. Well, that's it. Playing good. Okay, one thing more I want to pass on to you. The equipment I used is not calibrated to any standard. So just because it said 460 kilocycles doesn't necessarily mean that that's what I was getting. I could have had 450 and never known the difference because it's not calibrated. In a case like that, after you've done your, sometimes you'll do a complete alignment using the old equipment and stuff that you have, but it doesn't seem to be right on when you're done. Well, it's because of the lack of calibration. You can go ahead and do a little bit of tweak, without, by ear, maybe just an eighth of a turn left or eighth of a turn right to try to maybe bring your volume up if it's a little low on one of the bands. You may have to do a little bit of additional tweak and peak because of that lack of total accuracy that you get from calibrated equipment. Just kind of keep that in mind. Remember, this is your radio. If you want to tweak it, tweak it. I've shown this cabinet once before. It was in the first video. And I told you that the way the guy wrapped it, he just took a single, very thin piece of bubble wrap, put it around there, put it in a cardboard box and shipped it. And of course the speaker broke right out. And the chassis had fallen out the back. Yeah, the guy that did it was just a total moron. Anyway, I've got all the pieces here that I could scrounge out of the box. I'm going to try to glue them back together. That's my next project. As soon as we're done with the voltage reading video, taking the voltage readings in the chassis, I'll be working a few days on this, trying to get some kind of strength set up there with lots of glue. I'm going to have to get me some, I don't know whether to use epoxy or Elmer's on that. Probably Elmer's would do the job that Carpenter's wood glue. That does a really good job. They also have that Gorilla Glue and all that other stuff. But after that, it'll just be a matter of stripping the cabinet down. It actually looks worse than it really is. I'll have to do a little gluing. I think back here is kind of loose, so that'll have to be clamped and glued. The side over here is not too bad. Lots of work cleaning up the inside, putting this. This also broke off. This will have to be cemented back in like that. And then the radio sits in here. But the inside of the cabinet will have to be totally cleaned. All the stickers are gone. I take it back. There's one over there. It doesn't say much on it. Can't hardly read it. But it'll get cleaned up, and all I can do on this is do my best. So that's what the future brings. I don't know if I'll do a video series on the restoration of this cabinet or not. It might be worthwhile doing. I'll have to give that some thought. The dial glass, I went ahead and took it out in the escutcheon, and down in the lower left hand corner where my thumb is, you can see it's cracked also as a result of the bad packing that was done. And I had a chance to pick one of these up on eBay, maybe 30 days ago. But it didn't quite look exactly like this one. So if anybody has a dial glass or a complete, escutcheon with the glass in it, let me know. We'll work out a deal. This is the faceplate to a 1962 airline AM/FM radio. It's model number GEN 1696A. Now, I did a YouTube video on this a couple of years ago. It was my wife's radio. And I had it all restored, working fine. Unfortunately, it fell off the stand that it was sitting on, and the cabinet broke a little bit, and I have that at home gluing together with some Elmer's. And the radio chassis, which was fastened to the back side of the faceplate, just broke right off. All the little brackets broke off, and you can see right here where the plastic is just totally busted off right there. Now I'm talking about the little mounting screw. There's one there, there's one there, all busted. So there's another one that's just totally mangled. Well, I had a couple of them previously glued together with JB Weld. And of course it hit so hard that it even broke that. So now I've had to come up with a fix, and I've decided that I saved all the little plastic pieces from it, and I was going to JB Weld them back in again, tediously do it. I've decided that there might be a better way. These are the screws that went through a little bracket on the radio chassis, and they screwed into they would screw into that plastic barrel, and that's what just sort of broke out. So what I'm going to do, I've come up with a brilliant idea. Brilliant, I tell you. I'm going to burrow that hole out deeper and a little bit wider, and I'm going to use my moto tool and this little grinder on the end. I'm just going to get down in there. I'm going to open that baby up. Get that thing, just ream it out a little bit, go down to about, I don't know, somewhere down in here. Just tediously take my time and just ream it all out. Then I'm going to take this little baby right here. This is called a standoff, or a hex standoff. It's also called a jack screw. And they come in hex, they come in round, or round, some of them. They're male and female, meaning male on both ends, female on both ends, or you can buy them combination of male on one end, female on the other. And they, some of them are really long, some of them are short, really shorter than this. And they're steel, brass, aluminum, plastic, just about anything you want. You go on eBay and just type in hex standoff, and you will be amazed at the different kinds that there are of these things. And they're used to mount circuit boards on, or to separate circuit board layers, And what I'm going to do, and this is my brilliant idea, is after I get done reaming this thing out to the approximate size of this, maybe a little bit bigger, I'm going to stick that baby down in there and have it to where it levels off at the level of the original screw, of the original plastic point right here where the screw goes in. And then I'm going to JB weld that into the hole. But first I'll have to rough up the outside of it to give it a good grip for the JB weld. The plastic will already have a good roughed up surface. So let's see if we can get that done. Okay, the outside of the hex standoffs have been roughed up. I used a little grinding stone for that right there. Let's see if I can get it over there. Just roughed it up enough where the JB weld will grab it. And the holes have been reamed out. Pretty good. Let me get that over here in the sun. There we go. They've been reamed out real good to where the standoffs fit right down in there now. There's one. And here's another one. The second one. And what I'll do is I'll put enough glue down in there that'll hold the standoff up high enough to where it matches the height of these over here. About that height. So once it all dries, it should work. That concludes your tip of the day.